The family of a 25-year-old Navy specialist paid their respects and celebrated his short life at a funeral earlier today. WGXA News reporter Gloria Ruth Finney has been covering this story that started out as a missing person and ended with his death.
Greg, in early November, Devin Jeter left Atlanta, headed back to his base in Jacksonville. He never got there. And while there are still questions about how he died, today family focused on the impact he made during his short life. Friends and family gathering to honor the life and service of 25-year-old Devin Jeter.
I'm so proud of what he had become.
A funeral for the Navy specialist was held in Decatur Wednesday morning.
He didn't waste his 25 years. He did what he could do with the time that he had.
Jeter entered the United States Navy in 2021. He was later stationed in Japan. After being rotated back to the U.S., and for the last 3 months of his life, he was at the Naval Air Station in Jacksonville.
Devin loved the service, and he was proud of his uniform. He was an energetic young man. He was an ambitious young man.
Now that he's gone, most of the life from our family is missing now.
One of Jeter's brothers holding back tears while remembering his younger sibling.
So all I can do is just watch him go on the ground and hope to see him one day. Thank you.
Such an emotional thing to lose a loved one, especially someone who had the door to his future right at his fingertips. Gloria Ruth, I understand that you communicated with a family member this morning and kept in contact throughout their agonizing journey of looking for answers as exactly what happened to him.
Greg, I messaged his aunt this morning. She's currently out of the country and had to miss the service in person. There's lingering questions, so let's take a look back as how this first began to unfold. Deborah Smith, Devin's aunt, and I first spoke in mid-November. Devin had only been back in the States from Japan for about 3 months. He needed a vehicle, so his family picked him up in Jacksonville and drove him back home near Atlanta to go car shopping. Devin hadn't made up his mind just yet, but he needed to be back in Jacksonville the next day for work. So reluctantly, because it was dark, his dad helped Devin rent a car from the Atlanta airport. That was the night of November 7th. The next day, his coworkers said he didn't show up for work. His family filed a missing persons report with the Atlanta Police Department. The family went days without knowing where he could be. I'm told there may have been some complications with tracking the SUV. Then on November 11th in Telfair County, a fisherman called the local sheriff's department after finding a body near the Ocmulgee River at the Lumber City boat landing. The body was soon identified as Jeter's once the GBI became involved. That's when the questions took a turn. Why was he there? Where was his car? And how exactly did he die? An initial autopsy showed no apparent injuries. While that route through Lumber City makes sense for someone driving to Jacksonville, it wasn't until after our coverage from the Lumber City boat landing that the Georgia State Patrol dive team located the Jeep Compass submerged in the river, not far from where Jeter's body was found. Greg, we've both driven this same route on our trips to and from Jacksonville. Devin's aunt says the family questions if Devin thought the long stretch of the boat ramp was a detour around bridge construction. She also questions if the area lacked proper lighting.
Well, so Gloria Ruth, does this close Devin's case?
Tonight, the GBI tells me this is still an active and ongoing investigation, and the family is still waiting for the official autopsy report. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Gloria Ruth Finney, WGXA News.
All right, thank you, Gloria Ruth. A Twiggs County